Hello everyone, I am Muid Ahmed Siddiqui, and in this video I will explain a fundamental concept of financial accounting, that is depreciation. Now, we have current assets and non-current assets. So, first of all, I would like to remind you what are current assets and what are non-current assets. Non-current assets are the assets that remain in business, remain in business for more than 12 months. Current assets normally do not don't remain in business for more than 1 year, that is 12 months. Now, these are simple definitions of current assets and non-current assets that I have mentioned in front of you. So, current assets are those that are consumed, that are used in like 1 year. Examples of current assets are cash, inventory, accounts receivable, prepayments, and short term investments, maybe for short term investments for, you can say, less than 1 year. Non current assets, however, on the other hand, are, for example, building. We purchase a building. Now, these are the assets that are long term. We do not purchase, we will definitely, if we are running a business, just think yourself, we will not purchase building every other day. We will not purchase building every other day. But on the other hand, like we have cash, a current asset. We in a business, we normally pay cash and we receive cash on a daily basis, but we do not sell buildings and we do not purchase buildings on daily basis normally when we are running a business. So building is a non current asset, as it is a long term asset. It remains in business for a longer period. Another example could be furniture. We do not purchase furniture every day. We do not sell furniture every other day in the business. Furniture remains in business for normally more than 12 months. So this is also a non-current asset. Another example could be a motor vehicle. A motor vehicle purchased for business use is also a non-current asset. Similarly, plant and machinery. For example, in a textile mill, we have large plant and machinery that will remain in business, that will continue to be used by the firm for a very long period of time. In the same way, if we have equipment remains in business. Like we have computers. For example, we start a business and we purchase computers for our business. Computers normally have a life of like 3 years, 4 years. That is more than 12 months. That's why computers are also classified as non current assets. Now, these non current assets, here it is also worth noting that these non current assets are also called fixed assets. Okay, so these are some examples of the fixed assets: building, furniture, motor vehicle, plant, machinery, equipment, computers. Now, when we started this, when I started this lecture, I told you that the main topic that I will be focusing on is depreciation. So, depreciation, depreciation is charged on fixed assets, that is non-current assets. Now, depreciation is charged on fixed assets with only one exception, with the exception of land. If we have a piece of land, then we will not charge depreciation on land. I will tell you why this is so in more detail later on. Okay. Now, why do we charge depreciation? Why do we charge depreciation? Why depreciation is charged? As the name suggests, depreciation, depreciation, the term depreciation itself shows that depreciation comes, the word depreciation comes from depreciate, decline, reduction. So depreciation simply means a reduction in the value of non-current assets, you can say. For example, for instance, you purchase a computer for your business use. You purchase a computer for your business use today. Will the value of the computer, will the price of the computer be the same after 2 or 3 years? No, sir, that is not so. The value will definitely decline. The value will definitely reduce. The value will fall with the passage of time. That's why we charge depreciation on non-current assets. And depreciation, you can say in simple terms, is a reduction in value, is a decline in value of non-current assets. Now, as I said earlier, we do not charge a depreciation on land. Why? Because it is assumed that the value of land, instead of falling, goes up. Instead of falling with the passage of time, increases with increases as the time goes on. That's why no depreciation is charged on land. No depreciation is charged on land. Now, okay. Now, for non-current assets, for accounting of non-current assets, we have accounting standard, that is IAS 16. We have an accounting standard, that is IAS 16, property, plant, and equipment. This is a simple, this the explanation, the brief explanation of depreciation that I put forward. This is a simple explanation of depreciation. Now, IAS 16 recommends, prescribes that depreciation, or you can say simply IAS 16 says that depreciation is the allocation of cost of an asset over its useful life. I will explain this definition prescribed by the IAS 16 later on. Now, when we charge depreciation on a non-current assets, we treat depreciation as an expense in our profit and loss account in the profit and loss statement. Depreciation is treated as an expense in profit and loss statement. On the other hand, depreciation also reduces the value of the fixed asset. How? Now, let me show you how it happens. Now, for example, I purchase a motor vehicle. Motor vehicle is a non-current asset. Motor vehicle on 1st January. I purchase a motor vehicle on 1st January for $5,000. Now, I charge a depreciation of 10%. I charge a depreciation of 10% on the motor vehicle. The value of the motor vehicle will reduce by 10% of 5,000. 10% of 5,000, let's suppose. And it will become, at the end of the year, it will become 4,500. I have reduced the value of the motor vehicle by $500, and the reduced value at the end of the year, 31st December. On 31st December, the carrying amount, the carrying value of motor vehicle will be $4,500. And during the year, a depreciation is charged amounting to $500. Now, this depreciation will be treated as an expense in the profit and loss statement. Profit and loss statement. This will be an expense, and the value in the statement of financial position at which we will state motor vehicle is $4,500. This is the value in the statement of financial position, SOFP, balance sheet. In the SOFP balance sheet, that is your balance sheet, a statement of financial position. In simple terms, it is also called balance sheet. So this is the value at which we will carry motor vehicle in our balance sheet, $4,500, and this is the expense that we will show in our profit and loss statement. Now, there are two methods for charging depreciation. One is straight line method. Straight line method of charging depreciation. It has its own formula. It has a formula, you can say. And the formula for calculating depreciation under straight line method is cost minus residual value divided by useful life. Cost minus residual value divided by useful life. Now, this residual value is sometimes also referred to as salvage value or like a scrap value. So, residual value you can say is the value that the asset will be carried at by the end of its useful life. So, this is the formula of this is the formula for calculating depreciation under a straight line method. Now, for example, we have we buy a computer today. We buy a computer today for our business. We buy a computer today for our business that cost us like $1,000. Its residual value is, let's suppose, $100, and the computer has a useful life of 3 years. Then what? The depreciation that will be charged on the computer will be calculated under a straight line method using the formula cost minus residual value divided by useful life. How much is the cost? Cost is $1,000. Residual value is $100. So I subtract $100 from 1,000 and the useful life is 3 years. So the total will be, the answer is $300. I will charge a depreciation of $300 on the computer every year for 3 years. Now, for example, the date today is 1st January 2000. I buy computer at cost. How much was the cost? $1,000. Now, during the year, we charge a depreciation on computer. How much was the depreciation? Depreciation was 300. Carrying value at the end of the year, or carrying amount at the end of the year will be how much? $700 at the end of first year on 31st December 2000. Now, in 2001, at the start of 2001, the value will be carried forward. The value will be carried forward, and the carrying value, the written down value of computer will be how much? Will be 700. In this year, again, we will charge a depreciation of how much? We will charge a depreciation of 300. The value will reduce to $400 as a result of charging depreciation. The same procedure will be repeated in the next year, that is 2002. By the end of the last year of useful life, the carrying amount will be equal to the residual value, that is $100. So this is how we charge depreciation, and this is how the value of a non-current asset reduces when we charge depreciation. This is an example of a straight line method of depreciation. This is an example of a straight line method of depreciation. Now, sometimes what happens that we are given rate of depreciation in straight line method. Now, for example, if the question says that straight line method of depreciation is used and the rate of depreciation, let's suppose, is 30%, then we will simply, to calculate depreciation, we will simply take the cost of the asset. We will simply take the cost of the asset and we will multiply it by the rate. The cost here is $1,000 in this example and the rate is 30%. So the depreciation that we will charge each year is $300. That is simple. Now, so this is the straight line method of depreciation. This is how depreciation is calculated when we are given rate of depreciation and we are told that straight line method of depreciation is used. Another method for charging depreciation is reducing balance method. Is reducing balance method. In this method, what happens that instead of applying rate of depreciation on the cost, we take the written down value of the asset. We take the written down value of the asset. Now, for example, the question states that reducing balance method is being used and the rate of depreciation is, let's suppose, 10%, and the cost of the asset, cost of non-current asset is, let's suppose, $1,000. Now, how will you calculate depreciation? It is also called diminishing balance method of depreciation. The question is, how will we calculate depreciation under this method? When we purchase the asset at the start, the cost is $1,000. In the first year, we will charge a depreciation at 10%. So it will be 100. 10% multiply by 1000. The depreciation that we will charge, the depreciation expense for the year will be $100 in year one. So the value of the asset will reduce to $900. Now, depreciation at 10% once again, and we will get depreciation amount equal to $90. We will get the amount of depreciation equal to how much? $90. So in the second year, at the end of the second year, the value will be $810. Moving forward, again, we will charge a depreciation of 10%, and this 10% now will be applied to 810. So the depreciation charged in this year will be $81. So the total, the net value at the end of this year will become how much? Let me take out my calculator. The depreciation in this year at the is 81. The value at the end of this year will be 810 minus 81, 729. We will get a value of how much? $729 at the end of this year. Again, we will charge a depreciation of 10%. So again, we will take depreciation on this value. So it will become 73. So the carrying value of the asset will now be $656. Will be how much? $656. And this is how the cycle will go on. This is how the cycle will go on each year. A depreciation of 10% of the written down value. These values of the non-current assets are referred to as written down value. Now, let me show you this calculation with the help of a depreciation schedule, with the help of a fix, with the help of a depreciation schedule, so the things will become more clear to you. Now, this is the cost of the asset. This is the rate of depreciation that we are charging. And we have depreciation expense. We have what? We have depreciation expense. We have depreciation expense, cost, rate, depreciation expense, and then we have a accumulated depreciation account. Don't worry about it. I'll explain it in a moment. Then we have accumulated depreciation, and then we will have a written down value column. This is a depreciation schedule, you can say. This is a depreciation schedule. On, let's suppose, on first, or let's say, make this year, make it year. In the year 2000, an asset is purchased. Let's suppose an asset is purchased, a non-current asset is purchased, and the cost is $1,000. The rate of depreciation is 10%. How much will be the depreciation expense? Just multiplied by, please note that here I am using the reducing balance method. Reducing balance method of depreciation. Now the depreciation expense is $100. And how much will be the accumulated depreciation? Now accumulated depreciation is a counter account, of the non-current asset account, and we we actually subtract accumulated depreciation from the cost. We subtract accumulated depreciation from the cost. We subtract accumulated depreciation from the cost to get a written down value. Now, how much will be the accumulated depreciation? This is the depreciation, accumulated depreciation. Again, I'm telling you, is the total depreciation that is charged on a non-current asset over all its life to date. So accumulated depreciation will be in the first year will be $100. How much is the written down value? I have already mentioned here that written down value is calculated by subtracting accumulated depreciation from the cost. So written down value in the first year, at the end of the first year, that is 2000, is $900. In 2001, The cost will definitely remain the same in all of the years. The rate of the depreciation will remain the same. Now, what about the depreciation expense? For depreciation expense, I will take written down value and I'll multiply it by the rate of the depreciation, since I am using the reducing balance method. So this is the depreciation charged in the second year. The accumulated depreciation will now increase by $90 to $190, and the written down value will become cost minus accumulated depreciation, that is 810. This is the same calculation that I performed previously in this lecture. Now, again, we are charging a depreciation of 10%. The depreciation expense will be written down value multiplied by the rate of the depreciation, and the accumulated depreciation will be like this. We will add the current year's depreciation in the accumulated depreciation account. So the accumulated depreciation will increase to $271, and we will take cost and subtract an accumulated depreciation. It will become $729. 2003, in the year 2003, the cost will once again remain the same. The rate will also again remain the same. How much will be the depreciation expense? Written down value multiplied by the rate, that is $73. Accumulated depreciation will now increase by an amount of $72.9, or you can say $73. So it will be 344 if we just round it off, and it will be like 73 if we just round it off. So that written down value will be cost minus accumulated depreciation, that is 656 now. So this is how we will continue to charge depreciation. This is how the accumulated depreciation will continue to increase, and the written down value will continue to fall as the depreciation will be charged on a non-current asset. And here it is also worth noting that I am using reducing balance method. That is why I am charging depreciation expense by multiplying the rate of depreciation against the written down value. So this is how we calculate depreciation. This is how we prepare a depreciation schedule when we are using reducing balance method. Now, moving forward, what if we have a straight line method of depreciation? I suggest that you try to uh, prepare the same schedule as I have shown here using straight line method of depreciation. I suggest that you try preparing a schedule in the same way, as I have prepared here, using the straight line method instead of reducing balance method. So you will be able to know how good you are getting these concepts. This is a very fundamental concept of accounting, and you should be able to calculate, not only just calculate depreciation, but you should be able to demonstrate a good understanding of the concepts of depreciation, all the concepts like depreciation expense, accumulated depreciation, uh, in at F3 level, because this is a very fundamental concept. If you so make sure that you have a good understanding of all these concepts before going for the exam, before booking the exam. Okay, now I told you earlier, I told you that IAS 16. Okay, there is one more point to note here. Now, when we charge depreciation in under straight line method, what happens that same depreciation is charged. when we are charging depreciation in the under straight line method, then what happens, that same amount of depreciation is charged each year. But when we charge depreciation using the reducing balance method, what happens that in the earlier years, more depreciation expense is charged as compared to the later years. So reducing balance method is more appropriate. Reducing balance method is more suitable, or you can say more appropriate in a situation where non-current asset is expected to provide more benefit in earlier years as compared to later years of its life. Now, for example, we buy a computer. What happens that now suppose further that the computer is of the latest technology that we have in the market. So latest technology definitely reaps more benefit when when it is newer. So in the earlier years, the computer will provide more benefit, and as the technology will grow older, there will be more technological changes that the computer will not be able to cope up with. What will happen in the later years, as a result, as a consequence, the computer will provide less benefit as compared to the earlier years, the benefits provided in the earlier years of its life. So in this situation, reducing balance method is more appropriate as compared to the straight line method of depreciation. Now, there is there are some other points to note about depreciation. Now, IAS 16 says that depreciation IAS 16 says that depreciation is the allocation of the depreciable amount of an asset over its estimated useful life. Now, what is depreciable amount? I told you that depreciation is the allocation of the cost of an asset. Now, depreciation is something similar to cost. Depreciable amount is cost minus residual value. So IAS 16 says that by charging depreciation, what we actually intend to do, we intend to spread this depreciable value over the useful life of an asset. It is also said that by charging depreciation, we spread the cost of an asset over its useful life. Now, in 2000, the we purchased an asset for $5,000. We will continue to use asset for the next 5 years. We will continue to use asset for the next 5 years. Now, when we will charge depreciation, we will charge a depreciation expense each year for the next 5 years. By doing so, what we are actually doing, that we are spreading this $5,000. We are spreading this $5,000. We are spreading this $5,000. These $5,000 that we spent on the non-current asset in 2000, in the next during the next 5 years, that is the useful life of the asset. So each year we will make an expense from our profit and loss account of $1,000, let's say $1,000. So what will happen, that in this way, the the cost that we incurred in 2000 is spreaded over the next 5 years through depreciation, and eventually the value the value of the asset will decrease to zero. Each year, $1,000 is reduced from the initial value of the asset that was $5,000. Each year 1,000 will be reduced from the value, 1,000 will be subtracted from the value, and eventually what will happen that at the end of 2005, that is the useful life of the asset, the value will eventually become nil. Uh, the eventual value of the asset at the end of the life will be zero. So in this way, what we did actually, we spreaded the cost over 5 years. So this is the definition, or this is the explanation of depreciation given by the International Accounting Standard 16, IAS 16, property, plant and equipment. The accounting standard that governs that prescribes the treatment for non-current assets. Now, depreciable assets. What are depreciable assets? Depreciable assets are assets which are expected to be used during more than one accounting period, have a limited useful life, are held by an enterprise for use for rental to others or for administrative purposes. You can remember these definitions. That are given in the IAS 16. In IAS 16, this may prove to be useful, but all you need to do, I suggest that all you need to do is to go through these areas, read these areas once or maybe twice. Just remember the key points that I'm telling you in this video. Useful life is the period over which a non-current asset is used by a firm. You can simply say that useful life is the life over which a non-current asset is used by a firm. These are the factors that are considered when estimating the useful life of the asset, like physical wear and tear, obsolescence, legal or other limits on the use of the assets. These are some of the factors that are considered when we estimate the useful life of the asset, because an asset will definitely lose its value because of these things: physical wear and tear, obsolescence, legal or other limit. What do we mean by the term obsolescence? Now, obsolescence means that something becomes outdated. For example, you purchase a mobile phone today. Even if you do not use that mobile phone a bit, even if you keep that mobile phone the same way as you purchased it for the next 5 years, will it have the same value after 5 years? No, definitely not. Why? Because of the change in technology, the smartphone will definitely become obsolete, will become outdated. Because of the change in technology, the mobile phone will not be very useful after a certain period of time because of the change in technology. So this is obsolescence. What happened during these years? That the mobile phone became obsolete because of the technological impact. Now, residual value, in simple terms, I say that residual value is the scrap value. Is the scrap value. Is the scrap value, you can say. If you read the definition of residual value, you will realize that this is something very similar to the scrap value. Something that we can sell in scrap, something that has now become useless for us, and the value at which we will be able to sell that thing will be its scrap value. Depreciation methods. I have already told you that there are two depreciation methods in your syllabus: straight line method and the reducing balance or the diminishing balance method. I suggest that you look at these examples so the things will become more clear to you. Now, sometimes what happens that we make changes to our accounting estimates, we change method of depreciation. It happens, yes, definitely. We change method of depreciation, or sometimes there is a change in the expected useful life or residual value of an asset. So these are some adjustments of the depreciation that I will explain in my later videos. So in today's session, I gave you a brief introduction, a brief explanation of how we charge depreciation on non-current assets. Thanks for watching. I am Muid Ahmed Siddiqui from Muid Accountancy, and you can also note my number if you need any kind of assistance. You can call or WhatsApp me at, yes, you can call or WhatsApp me at 03 plus 923434228953. I am available for providing assistance to students of accounting and other subjects of ACCA and SIMA and other professional qualifications like ICMA in Pakistan. So let me know if you need any kind of assistance. I am available on different social media platforms like WhatsApp, like LinkedIn. So thanks for watching and hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.